Okay, hi everyone. We are on 39.4 where I'm going to solve a question from enzyme inhibition. This is a question taken from the end of the chapter of your Mary Jones textbook. I've taken question number 8 as a sample question and I'm going to solve it. Before I start solving, I want you also to be ready with your notebook so that you can also read the question along with me and solve with me. Okay. Alright, so the question is the reaction below occurs during aerobic respiration. The reaction is catalyzed by the enzyme succinate dehydrogenase. So this is a reaction given to you in the question. You don't have to understand cellular respiration here, that is an A-level topic, but you just have to look at how to solve this problem. So a reaction is given to you, its enzyme is given to you. What is this? This is your substrate and this is your product. They are asking name the substrate in this reaction. So in this case you are going to look at the substrate structure and the name is given to you, so your answer is going to be succinic acid. So this is your answer, succinic acid. The next question is, it's slightly cropped but I can tell you what the question is. It says that there is a particular inhibitor whose structure is given over here. The COOH has got cropped. So here there is one COOH bonded with a CH2 bonded with another COOH, and this structure, this compound is called a malonic acid. It says that malonic acid can also bind with succinate dehydrogenase but not permanently. And then it is the question is asking describe how malonic acid inhibits the enzyme succinate dehydrogenase. So now how am I going to approach this question? Basically it's telling me that this malonic acid is an inhibitor. Now if I have already studied about enzyme inhibition, I know that there are two types of inhibition, that is competitive and non-competitive. In competitive inhibition, I know that the inhibitor has a structure similar to the substrate, and we have already established the fact that this succinic acid is the substrate. Look carefully, structure of succinic acid is very similar to structure of malonic. Only one CH2 group is more in succinic and that is not there in malonic. So I can clearly tell that the inhibitor looks like the substrate, very similar. So I can call this as a competitive inhibitor. So basically in this question I am going to say how malonic acid inhibits succinate dehydrogenase enzyme, that is by binding to its active site. So let's see how to answer this question. So first thing I am going to say is structure of malonic acid is similar to succinic acid. In bracket I am going to make the examiner know that I know that I am saying that my inhibitor is similar to the substrate. So this means that malonic acid will be complementary to the active site of, will be complementary to the, oh I'm sorry, this, I just drag it to the left, will be complementary to the active site of enzyme. I'm just going to write it in short, that is succinate dehydrogenase. Please do not write in short form in your actual exams. Then I can also say that therefore malonic acid will, here I am going to definitely use this keyword, that is compete, okay, with succinic acid with succinic acid. And therefore will take or you can just say will compete with the succinic acid to take its place in the enzyme's active site. So I just basically described competitive inhibition here. So that's how you can answer this question, by stating some important key words over here. Okay. Now let's look at bit C. Heavy metals such as lead and mercury bind permanently to the SH or sulfide groups of the amino acids present in the enzyme. So the question is saying that our enzyme, that is succinate dehydrogenase, has some sulfide groups. Okay, and these heavy metals have a tendency of forming permanent bonds with these sulfide groups. These sulfide groups could be in the active site or somewhere else. Okay, now there is a problem. If these sulfide groups are in the active site and these heavy metals form a permanent bond with them, then that will definitely affect the active site's shape, the 3D shape of the active site of this enzyme. Let's see what the question is saying. Name the amino acids which contain SH groups. Okay, to be able to answer this question, in your Mary Jones ebook there is an appendix which gives you a list of amino acid structures. I have attached that to my PDF over here, which I am showing you. So these are the 20 or 22 essential amino acids found in your cells. You have to find out which of these contain SH group. So I can clearly see that methionine has a sulfur group in its R alkyl side chain, and I also see cysteine. Cysteine also has an SH group. The thing is, methionine has a sulfur in its side chain, but cysteine has a sulfur hydryl, that is SH. So this is more correct for my answer. So in my answer, I am going to write the name of an amino acid which has SH group, and that is cysteine. Okay, that's my answer. Next, explain the function of this SH group or sulfhydryl group in protein and why binding of heavy metals to these groups would inhibit the activity of the enzyme. So basically we all know that the enzyme and substrate bond with each other temporarily so that the substrate will get the right amount of environment to form a product quickly. Now if these heavy metals come and make permanent bonds with the sulfhydryl group, they will disrupt the shape of the active site and the substrate won't be able to bind with the enzyme anymore. So if you think my explanation was too fast, you can pause the video and rewind and listen to my explanation that I told just now. I am going to now answer why the sulfhydryl group in proteins are there, what is the function of these groups, and then I'll explain why heavy metal binding to them is a problem with the activity of the enzyme. So first I'm going to say that the SH groups will form disulfide bridges in proteins. We already know that these sulfur groups in the R chain or the alkyl group, they help in forming the disulfide bridges. Okay, now if they are forming the disulfide bridges, I'm just making continuation statements. So I'll just say disulfide bridges help in forming tertiary structure of proteins. We all know that our enzymes have either a tertiary structure or a quaternary. They have a 3D structure, and tertiary is a 3D structure. That means to form the 3D, specific 3D shape of the enzyme, we need these disulfide bridges. Okay, so here your knowledge of proteins is going to be exercised. Okay, so they Disulfide bridges help in forming the tertiary structure of the proteins. Then I can come to the heavy metal part. Here I am going to say that heavy metals will affect the shape by directly binding to these sulfhydryl groups. Heavy metals will directly affect the 3D shape of enzymes if they permanently bind with these SH groups. Okay, my question is 4 marks, so I need to have very specific 4 points. Okay, now I told that heavy metals will change the 3D shape. I can also say this will change the shape of enzymes active site. So if the enzyme's active site shape is changed, substrate would not be able to complementarily fit into the active site. So substrate will no longer fit into these active sites. So that will affect the enzyme's activity. Therefore, now if the SH groups are in the active site, it will change the shape of the active site. If the SH groups are in the allosteric site, then the heavy metals will bind to the allosteric site and can change the active site. So you can add those details in this answer also. So finally you can say thus enzymes activity gets affected. So what is the enzyme's activity? To catalyze the substrate's reaction to form the product, right? Now if the active site is distorted, then substrate won't bind to the active site and the enzyme will not catalyze any reaction. Therefore the activity of the enzyme will fall. What type of inhibition would be caused by these heavy metals? So you clearly know that the heavy metals shape are not same as your substrate, that is the succinic acid. That means they look completely different from the substrate. That means they are definitely not competitive inhibitors. So if the enzyme has SH group in the allosteric site, heavy metals bind to them, and this bond they will form is a permanent bond. Okay, bind to them permanently, affecting active site shape. Remember, if a inhibitor binds to the allosteric site and affects the shape of the active site, that means they are non-competitive inhibitors, but since they are heavy metals, what type of inhibition will they do? Will this inhibition get reversed? No, they are forming permanent bonds, but since they are heavy metals, they will irreversibly inhibit the enzyme. So this so they will irreversibly inhibit this enzyme. So heavy metals, they don't look like the substrate, so they are non-competitive. They will not bind with the active site. Secondly, because they are making permanent bonds with the side chains of this enzyme, they will permanently disrupt the shape of the active site and they will irreversibly inhibit the enzyme. Okay, so that's how you will look at enzyme inhibition questions, carefully analyze whether your inhibitor is a competitive one or non-competitive one. If it is a non-competitive one, how will its action be? Means how will it affect the enzyme's activity? Thank you.